Moja One Kenya Coalition Party.
Tungetaka tuseme Wakenya wameamua.
Rigathi Gachagua, UDA.
We are coming to bring in change.
Ruth Wambui Musheru, Agano Party. Battle of the Deputies. The Deputy Presidential Debate live on the 19th July 2022, 5 p.m. to 9 p.m.
The fastest woman in the world, becomes the world champion here in Doha.
The World Athletics Championships is being hosted in Oregon, in the United States of America, for the first time ever from 15th to 24th of July 2022. An estimated 2,000 base track and field athletes representing more than 200 nations will come together in a celebration of diversity, human potential, and athletic achievement. Short races are not the only attractions. Marathon, magnificent throws.
Is it going to be long enough? Oh, it's a huge throw.
And outstanding jumps among other disciplines is expected as well. Although an immense task awaits them, our own Team Kenya is adequately represented by resolute athletes ready to liven up Hayward Field at the University of Oregon.
What a race, what heart. Oh my goodness me, so close.
Don't miss a single glorious moment, live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1. KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
The gubernatorial race in Makueni County is on. Candidates are lining up to showcase their development agenda. Don't miss out this Thursday on 14th July. Tune in to KBC Channel 1 from 9:50 p.m. for a live Makueni County gubernatorial debate from Acacia Hotel, Watertown.
Good evening, welcome to Prime Edition. I am Cynthia Nyamai. Now tonight we start with some good news that fuel prices will not be going up because of a presidential directive. I do have the details of that story. And also in business, Young and Industrious is back. And we have a story on an entrepreneur who started at age 21 pig farming, and today 10 years later he has a farm with 1,000 pigs and other side business or side hustles, as we call it in Kenya, that will be coming up shortly. And in sports, Munga has all the action for you. That and more after the highlights. Will he make history? Mike Sonko cleared by IEBC to contest the Mombasa gubernatorial seat 25 days to the poll. Hailing the multi-agency approach in security, President Kenyatta commends team for ensuring Kenya is secure. And battle for votes. DP William Ruto rallies Narok and Nyamira as Raila Odinga camps in Coast. Our sign language interpreter is Byron Abuli. And remember, we would like to hear from you. You can send us your comments or recommendations, and you can send them on our social media pages. That is Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, KBC Channel 1. I will be sharing some of your comments, and some of the stories that we have today are from your comments. And remember, after this bulletin, we do have the gubernatorial debate. We will be taking you to Makueni, and the team is currently live in Makueni County. Now, the electoral body IEBC has cleared former Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko to run for Mombasa governorship. Sonko was cleared by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission after the High Court in Mombasa ordered the electoral agency to gazette his name among the gubernatorial candidates.
The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission has cleared Wiper candidate for Mombasa Governor seat Mike Sonko to vie in the upcoming poll. Following the move, his Mombasa County supporters went into jubilations. Speaking shortly after his clearance, Sonko described the entire process as a victory for Mombasa and pledged to unite and develop Mombasa.
Uongozi wangu na ndugu yangu na chama chetu cha Wiper na Azimio tutahakikisha tunaunganisha wapwani wote.
Kwa swali mtihani huu ungeleta vurugu, lakini amatuliza nyinyi nyote na ikawa hivyo. Tunawaombea ushindi na utulivu kabla uchaguzi, wakati uchaguzi na baada ya uchaguzi.
At the same time, Sonko dispelled claims that he won the case following the intervention of the handshake partners.
Everybody was silent when Karungo won. Sakaja also won. Why, when it comes to us, my case and my brother here, Alimbogo, tunaona watu wanapiga kelele ati Deep State imetusaidia, ati Azimio imetusaidia. Please let us not tarnish the name of our good judiciary. Judiciary is very independent.
On Wednesday, a 3-judge bench that was hearing his petition against IEBC ruled in favor of Sonko. Justices Olga Sewe, Ano Nginjo, and Stephen Githinji allowed Sonko's petition challenging IEBC decision to disqualify him from the race on the allegation of breach of Article 75 of the Constitution.
Na tunawaambia opponents wetu, hata sikiwa zimebakia siku 26, wanajua Mbogo na Sonko ni kiboko yao.
Watch the space.
Let them watch the space. The 26 days are more than enough. Even if we were given a week, tutawaonesha cha mtema kuni.
Sonko's entry into the race is expected to complicate the equation for Ahmed Nasir, who was poised to win the race by a landslide after his main competitor and businessman Suleiman Shabal stepped down in his favor. Others clear to succeed Governor Joho include Hezron Awiti Bolo of Vibrant Democratic Party, Hassan Omar of United Democratic Party, William Kingi of Pamoja African Alliance, Daniel Kitsao, an independent candidate, Shafi Makazi of Upia Party, and Said Abdallah of Usawa Party. For Prime Edition, I'm Gladys Mungai.
President Uhuru Kenyatta has urged security agencies to continue embracing the multi-agency approach in dealing with crime and safeguarding security of Kenyans. The president noted that the approach has enabled security officers drawn from different agencies to collaborate, leading to a significant improvement in the state of security in the country. He was speaking at the multi-agency training camp in Kamanga in Nakuru, Kitui County, where he presided over the passing out of 256 special forces of the Administration Police, or AP.
Make timely tactical decisions under combat stress, able to lead and motivate his peers in accomplishing physically.
President Uhuru Kenyatta was at Kamanga in Nakuru, Kitui County, where he presided over the passing out parade of 256 special forces of the Administration Police. He expressed optimism that with the graduation of the fresh contingent of AP Special Forces, the country can only be a much safer place.
And we expect that with you joining their ranks, Kenya can only be a much safer place, and our citizens can sleep peacefully knowing that there are men and women like you protecting their lives against people who would wish to do harm.
At the same time, the president assured security agencies that the government will continue to provide all the facilitation required to enable them conduct their duties effectively, including the provision of modern equipment, weapons, and vehicles.
We will do also everything that we can to ensure that we cater also for your welfare and for your family's welfare in order for you to be able to be safely assured that your interests are also well catered for as you cater for the interests of 50 million Kenyans.
These teams employ tactics, techniques, and procedures augmented by technology that are adaptive, preventive, and preemptive. This is in line with Administration Police Service Border Security mandate.
The AP Special Forces comprise 3 groups: the Special Recce Team, the Special Operations Group, as well as the Special Weapons and Tactics SWAT. During the occasion, President Kenyatta was treated to a demonstration of the skills the officers have acquired, the climax of which was a shooting competition where Administration Police Constable Noah Andai from SOG scooped the top prize, while his counterpart Margaret Njoroge from SWAT came second. Frederick Mwoki for Prime Edition.
From all that action and now to politics, where Deputy President William Ruto says he will address the high cost of living in the country as a matter of urgency if elected president. The Deputy President said many households can no longer afford 3 meals in a day. Speaking in multiple campaign rallies, the Deputy President dismissed claims that he lacks the temperament to lead the country. Achola Simon with the details.
Deputy President William Ruto continued with his series of rallies in Nyamira, Migori and Narok counties for the second day running in hand for votes. The DP using the platform to defend himself against claims that his recent public outbursts are just but a tip of an iceberg.
Ati saa hizi wanatembeza porojo, William Ruto amekasirika. Mimi nataka niwaulize, kama nyinyi mumevunja agenda yetu ya Big 4, mulikuwa mnataka tucheke na nyinyi? Kama mumepandisha bei ya unga, saa hii imefika gorogoro shilingi 200. Walikuwa wanataka tucheke na wao? Kama wamepandisha bei ya mafuta, walikuwa wanataka tucheke na wao?
Ruto, however, making it clear that the anger is not directed at anyone in particular, but the unacceptable unemployment rates and the rising cost of living.
Nyinyi mumefurahi kwa sababu hamujui maana ya kulala njaa. Hamujui maana ya kupiga lami mpaka kiatu ikatike wakati hauna ajira. Hamujui vile wakulima wanahangaika.
Kura ya tarehe 9 itakuwa ni ya kuteremsha ile bei ya unga. Itakuwa ni ya kuteremsha ile bei ya mafuta. Hakuna wakati wowote tutakubali, na hapa Nyamira nyinyi ni wakulima, bei ya mbolea ipite shilingi 2,500.
Mimi nataka niwaambie hivi vijana kwamba pale tumefika, lazima tuchukue jukumu la kuweka rais ambaye anajali maslahi ya mtu wa chini.
Days ago, Deputy President was quoted on undated audio clip expressing his frustrations over the nullification of the 2017 presidential elections. Ruto maintains that Kenya Kwanza is best suited to steer the country to the next level. Achola Simon, Prime Edition, Nyamira County.
Now, still in politics, Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition flag bearer Raila Odinga has urged Deputy President William Ruto to tell Kenyans the truth about cargo clearance at the inland depot in Nairobi and Naivasha. Raila says it is unfortunate that the Deputy President is trivializing the matter. Raila said it is critical for the political class to always tell Kenyans the truth.
The Azimio la Umoja Brigade held a series of political rallies in Nyali, Kisauni, Mvita, Changamwe and Yomvu constituencies in Mombasa County, where the coalition urged voters to turn up in large numbers next month to cast their ballots in favor of their coalition. The nexus between the expansion of cargo clearance services and the loss of jobs in Mombasa has been providing fodder for political campaigns in the coast region. On Thursday, Raila Odinga challenged the deputy president to rise above political interests and speak the truth about the matter.
Aliyepeleka kule Naivasha na kaenda kazindua huko sio mwingine, ila ni nani? Sasa yeye anasema atarudisha hapa. Nani alipeleka huko kwanza, si ni yeye? Kama wewe ni mwanaume ukajiuzulu kutoka makamu wa rais, ndio kamlaumu Raila Odinga.
Baada ya miaka 10 umekuwa vice president, deputy president, ukizunguka nchi nzima hukuleta suluhisho. Sasa unataka kuleta suluhisho.
Special Economic Zone ya kwanza aliipeleka kwao Eldoret. Kwani sisi watu wa Mombasa hatufai?
Serikali ya Azimio ikichukua itarudisha kazi zote hapa Mombasa kupitia baba.
Raila said his government will work to provide employment opportunities for the coast youth.
Nataka wafanyikazi walipe mshahara sawa sawa.
Baba, katika agenda yako ya industrialization, ya kutengeza viwanda, angalia EPZ.
Ukiona umaskini, ukiona unemployment.
Raila said an Azimio administration will resolve the land problem in the coast region if elected into government.
Sasa nimebaki na Joho ndiye atakuwa waziri wa mambo ya ardhi zao.
Kama wewe umechukua shamba la wananchi, hasusan maeneo haya ya Joho na Bangla, ujue chuma chako kimotoni.
His running mate Martha Karua said the Azimio administration will bring justice to all.
Mauaji ya kiholela, kukandamiza vijana kiholela, yote itakuwa ni ya kaburi ya sahau.
Sisi muokoe nchi. Iko mtu mmoja ataokoa sisi, mtu ambaye sio mfisadi, mtu ambaye sio mwizi, mtu ambaye alipata shida kwa ajili ya nchi.
The Azimio coalition heads to Kilifi County tomorrow. Juni Karisa Mbele from Mombasa County.
Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i has affirmed that the government is committed to a successful transition after the August 9th general election. Matiang'i said elaborate plans are in place to ensure the relevant instruments of power are handed over peacefully to whoever will form the next government.
The Interior Cabinet Secretary met development partners to deliberate on various issues, among them the upcoming general election and the country's economic status, among others. Matiang'i assuring the country that the government will support the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission to deliver a peaceful election and ensure the country remains stable.
We will do everything it will take and everything under the law to ensure that we fulfill our constitutional mandate and our obligations under the law, namely to ensure a peaceful, a stable country, a peaceful and effective transition.
He said the continuity will be ensured in order to support efforts put in place for the country to recover economically after the COVID-19 pandemic.
We are doing our best to ensure that we tame inflation, so that we can tame the cost of living in the country. We know it's a challenge we are confronting. We are grateful that our partners understand and they are willing to work with us because they too are facing similar challenges in their respective countries.
Development Partners Chairperson Franz Macken said the international community was pleased with the efforts put in place by government to ensure a peaceful election and transition.
There was a very not only a convincing presentation from the side of the government, but also a lot of very practical examples of how the country is prepared to make sure that the elections can be safe, secure, open and peaceful, and that is a joint interest that we have as development partners.
He further noted that they are keen to support the government in mitigating the ongoing drought in ASAL regions. Beatrice Gatonyengetich, Prime Edition.
Thank you, Beatrice, for that report. Now, the government continues to issue title deeds in various parts of the country as a key component of its transformative agenda. Speaking in Embu, Cabinet Secretary for Public Service, Professor Margaret Kobia, said the issuance of title deeds will resolve historical issues on land ownership. So far, the documents have been issued in Kakamega, Makueni, Kirinyaga, Kericho, and Embu counties.
Thousands of Kenyans have been issued with title deeds, ending the long wait to acquire the important document. In Embu, Public Service Cabinet Secretary Margaret Kobia said the government is committed in addressing land issues in Mwea.
Wengine wana title na wengine wana, tunajua shida hii ya umaskini title inatoa. Sasa nafikiri tungefaidika kama tungetumia chief na assistant chief, hiyo wale wanasimamia serikali kwa ground, hiyo tupate maendeleo hiyo, kupata hiyo title deed.
In Kakamega, beneficiaries of title deeds expressed joy in acquiring the documents. Sports Cabinet Secretary Amina Mohammed urged those who are yet to collect their title deeds to do so promptly.
Tunajua kwamba kuna wengine ambao walituacha wameaga, na tungependa familia zao zije mbele, tuwasaidie, tuwaonyeshe vile wanaweza kuzipata hizi cheti.
Meanwhile, Interior Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i has warned chiefs and their assistants against extorting money from those set to receive title deeds for their parcels of land. Speaking in Boni West, Matiang'i said the government is committed to ensure all lawful land owners in the country acquire title deeds.
Tulikuwa tumetoa title deeds 5.6 million. Kwa miaka hiyo yote, karibu miaka 50, tulikuwa tumepata title deed 5.6. Kwa serikali ya Mheshimiwa Uhuru Kenyatta, tangu 2013 mpaka wakati huu, tumetengeneza title deed 6 million.
In Kericho, Trade and Industrialization Cabinet Secretary Betty Maina issued a total of 3,710 title deeds to a section of landowners, where she urged locals to follow land succession procedures when acquiring land.
To really start processes of succession as soon as they bury their parents, because otherwise, the longer you drag and start selling land to others, it becomes very, very difficult.
The government has separately issued more than 1,000 Kirinyaga and Murang'a residents with title deeds. Speaking during the launch of the issuance exercise in the regions, Transport Cabinet Secretary James Macharia urged beneficiaries to utilize the title deeds to secure loans for development purposes.
Serikali ya Uhuru Kenyatta ni serikali ya kusema na kutenda. Walisema mambo ya barabara kama 10,000 kilomita 10,000, sasa tumezidi kama 11,000 na laki 5.
Irene Mchuma, Udim, the Prime Edition.
Kupata ulimi na mafikira kama skiza tune kwenye simu yako, bonyeza *811 *815
Hey, my friend, ulimi ni kama msumari na mafikira ni kama nyundo. Hizo vitu mbili zikishikana, zinaweza jenga ama zinaweza bomoa. Haki na sita tafadhali. Hebu fikiria hiyo kitu nataka kuniambia kabla nishike hii simu. Kama unataka kunibomoa, toa hiyo simu kwa masikio. Unaona hiyo kitu ya red? Finya hiyo kitu ya red.
Kupata ulimi na mafikira, bonyeza *811 *815 *811 *815 .
Welcome back. A few of you were sending comments asking about the gubernatorial debate today. It is in Makueni. Now let's catch up with today's business. Education stakeholders have called upon the private sector to play a more active role to help bridge the gap between public and private learning institutions in terms of hand-on tutoring. This comes as 100 learners from cohort of 12,000 pupils were awarded certificates after completing a 3-week handwriting training program.
Kariobangi South Primary School in Nairobi County. Here, we are met with grinning faces because their handwriting has tremendously improved. Bad handwriting often attracts a negative stigma, a familiar tale to the learners who make up a total population of 3,000 pupils in the school.
Thank you for making me a better writer.
When you look at the handwriting, that one has been different. That is where normally our learners are beaten. But now when we have this one-on-one with the learners, I want to believe this one is going to raise the standards in our schools.
It is these challenges that drove Big East Africa to launch My Words, My Story initiative, an initiative in conjunction with the Teacher Service Commission aimed to empower teachers in 35 schools to run a 26-day handwriting program for 12,000 students.
For us, this program really reiterates this importance. Children get to practice their cursive lettering, but also be creative when they write their short stories. The teachers empower the program and deliver it themselves to their pupils.
Are you lifting your certificate?
100 learners from this school walk heads held high, proudly displaying their certificates dubbed pen license after 26 days of intensive handwriting training. Learners and parents alike lauded the initiative, citing significant improvements in their writing and overall performance as well.
Najua kuandika letters zote. Saizi najua kuandika letters zote na zimesaidia na wanafunzi wengine.
It has enabled learners to change their handwriting and improve in their literature activities.
I am proud for my friend because she has changed her handwriting.
Education is the key to a successful future, and that future begins right here with the very basics, handwriting, a skill that is often neglected but has far-reaching consequences, not just in the academic life, but also the professional life of a writer. Reporting for KBC Channel 1, I'm Samuel Karaoke in Kariobangi South Primary School, Nairobi County.
But an interesting story right there by Samuel. Now, fuel prices to remain unchanged following a directive by President Uhuru Kenyatta that a fuel subsidy of 16.7 billion shillings to committed to cushion Kenyans from increased pump prices. Without the fuel subsidy, pump prices would have increased by at least 50 shillings per litre, with a litre of super petrol retailing at 209 shillings. And 95 cents in Nairobi, diesel at 193 shillings and 64 cents, while a litre of kerosene would have retailed at 181 shillings and 13 cents in the capital city. Regina Manyara reports.
Fuel prices will remain unchanged over the next 1 month after the government subsidized pump prices. A statement from State House spokesperson Kanze Dena in part reads, "It is notified that His Excellency the President has today authorized an additional fuel subsidy of 16.67 billion shillings so as to cushion Kenyans from a further increase in fuel prices. Without such state interventions, the pump prices would have been 193 shillings and 64 cents for diesel, 209 and 95 cents for petrol, and 181 shillings and 13 cents for kerosene for a litre in Nairobi." Kanze pledged the government's plan to continue to roll out similar actions so as to provide further direct relief to all Kenyan families and establish the necessary safeguards for protecting Kenyan consumers from further increases in the cost of living. A statement from the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority indicates that over the last 1 month, the landed cost of super petrol, diesel and kerosene increased by 19.04%, 2.2% and 6.83% respectively. In addition, the shilling weakened 1.41% against the US dollar, hitting a high of 118.32 cents to the greenback last month. Despite this, crude oil prices have reduced on average by about 10% over the last 1 month and by 18% over the last 3 months. Fuel prices have increased in other countries, with a litre of super petrol retailing at $1.663 in Uganda and $1.378 in Tanzania, $1.42 in Rwanda, $1.544 in South Africa, while in the US a litre of gasoline retails at $1.4 and $2.67 in the UK and $1.42 in China. This is as compared to an equivalent of $1.286 in Kenya. Regina Manyara reporting for Prime Edition.
Kenya is seeking raw materials from the East African community to operationalize its 33 billion shillings. That story is with Rioba.
China has completed a 95 million shillings feasibility study for the Nyamira Integrated Agricultural Park feasibility study, paving way for the commencement of the park's construction. Initially, the park construction cost was pegged at 7 billion shillings, a figure that was later revised to 33 billion shillings after the national government and other development partners elevated it to an East African region park.
It is scheduled to be completed in 2 years. The implementation will start, and for the full for it to be fully complete, it will take 5 years. But in 2 years, it will be up and running. So we expect the contribution to the economy is 24% from the feasibility report.
Under the Nyamira Integrated Agro-Industrial Park, it is emphasizing on agricultural potential of the zone of the 9 counties, and we are looking at it as the anchor for industrial zones in that Western Kenya region.
The park will have a railway system linking 9 counties in Kenya's western region, with the Kenya Civil Aviation Authority approving construction of an airport that is expected to increase horticultural export volumes from the western region to international markets.
We are now linked to the Atlantic Ocean, and with Congo joining the East African community, we've brought on board an additional 50 million markets, and then there is the African Continental Free Trade Area, again the whole of Africa.
To maximize the 200 acres park operations, Kenya is seeking to leverage on the mineral-rich DRC to source for raw materials.
Industrialization, it calls for maybe, raw materials beyond what, there is the major raw material and then the other inputs that are required that may not be available within the locality and may have to be brought in from outside.
The Nyamira Park is one of the 7 agricultural parks to be constructed under the public-private partnership across all former provinces. Benson Druba reporting for Prime.
Small businesses are deploying product development technologies to meet the growing sophistication in consumer taste. Tonight on Tech One, we'll look at how various agricultural startups are being incubated to improve the quality of their products.
Latest data from the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics indicates that the food subsector expanded by 6.4% during the first 3 months of this year. Small businesses are increasingly employing technology in their processes as well as product development to meet sophisticated tastes by the customers.
Technology innovation is the way to go. So technology makes our work easier in terms of the processes. Be it production, be it hiring.
Entrepreneurs like Margaret say the use of technology assures her customers that her products are standard.
The role of technology is very simple. Doing honey is not expensive. It's only people do shortcuts to get it expensive. You can bring your honey into Kiridi and it's tested whether it has commercial sugars. Most of customers, most of people who are selling honey outside there They don't want to do the right procedure. They want to do shortcut to get money.
The government, through institutions like the Kenya Industrial Research and Development Institute, KIRDI, believes achievement of the highest quality and meeting standards could be attained through training and incubation of small food processors.
Actually, we had the interest of making this product. Then we thought it's wise we get professional training. So that's how we ended here. We applied actually. And then we were called for training.
As KIRDI, we run several programs that helps entrepreneurs. We have got product development where you come with an idea, then our research scientists are able to help you grow that idea to become a product that can be available for use in the market.
The Kenya Industrial Research and Development Institute runs a virtual or in-house incubation program for up to 6 months for the startups that are given technical support in their specific areas of interest.
Once you come here, you train. There's some certifications that you are required to attain a certain standard, and we have people like KBC who are in charge of ascertaining the standard before they give you a go ahead on either you go forward or they ensure that your product meets the standard before you can venture into the market.
Alanauko, Take One.
He was aged only 21 in the year 2011 when he actualized his love for big pig farming, starting with a stock of 6. Today, Kefa Kadhogo owns close to 1,000 pigs in 2 separate farms and also has a cottage industry for processing animal feeds. Our reporter Yusuf Farah visited one of the farms at Eka Tramp area in Kiambu County and filed the following report for this week's edition of The Young and Industrious.
Located in the Ekatano area of Kiambu County is the Gadites farm, one of the pig rearing farms owned by 28-year-old Kefa Kadhogo. Here we meet the entrepreneur, and after changing into the farm gear, it's time to go check out what goes on here. Inside, it's feeding time. From the ones that are ready to hit the market, placed in this visitor's shed to the newly born piglets, this shed plays host to over 300 pigs. Kefa didn't, however, start here. He ventured into pig rearing in 2011 in his father's Kiamba farm with 6 pigs. 4 of them died.
2 of them remained, but at least I was able to lead them all the way to maturity. And then all the way to the maturity, and then I was able to sell them when they were pregnant. So I fetched a better price. And actually the first time I got my 50K, I remember, at one go.
Kadhogo, who is a graduate of Business and Information Technology from the Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, says his resilience in the business, boosted by $500,000 shilling loan courtesy of the Youth Enterprise Development Fund, has seen his business grow to what it is today. Kefa now owns this farm and another one which does farrowing for the pigs. Located in Kiamba is his commercial feed shop where he gets the feeds for his farm as well as selling the same to other clients. Business is booming and the entrepreneur has been able to employ other people to assist with the running of the business.
So we have 2 butcheries. We have 4 people we have employed. And the business also that liquidates you. In case of any trouble that you have or any emergency that you have, you can always liquidate an animal. So these are more of my bank, I would say, and they pay me if I take care of them.
Mimi sana wanakwenda driving school, so nimetamani pala kidogo ndio nijifunze driving. Yeah. So I have 2 butcheries. We 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 have 2 butcheries. We
so nisimamie pia kimaisha mimi na yangu. Tamani funga job yangu kama hii pia naandikia hata pia watu pia na tusaidiane pia wajiri watu kazi na inaweza kuwa smart.
The venture has seen him grow to being fully dependent on it for his livelihood.
So one thing that I've done, I would say tangible thing that I've done with this business that I always see every day, is definitely the love of my life. Everything was funded by this business. I was also been able to buy a property. I have a car, I would say. I literally survive on this business. So definitely everything that you see in me, it's about this business.
Kefa points out the high cost of animal feed as a major hindrance to the success of the business.
It's a capital-intensive project. We talk of at least the earliest you can cash in is about 2.5 months, and literally that animal is only eating every day. So it's quite. If you have 100 animals and they are doing like 8 shillings a day, that's money that you have to have prepared in advance, or you have various ways of how to liquidate yourself. Second is about the diseases. We have the swine fever, the African swine fever, the foot and mouth also does affect the animals, and those leads to huge losses.
What is his vision for the Gadates farm, I ask him.
A lot of commitment definitely is needed, and a lot of lessons have been learned through the journey. But I think the way I see the business is you grow in valuation. You grow more in valuation because these animals also, they multiply every day. Though they feed, there's that cost of feeding. At least if you do enough sales that facilitate the cost of the day, you're good in this business.
For the young, passionate entrepreneur, his growth means the growth of others, and he lives to learn and give the business his all.
Gadet Farms has been able to employ 12 pairs of hands to help with the running of the business, but the young entrepreneur is not quite done yet. He hopes to secure a second loan from the Youth Enterprise Fund to help with expansion of the business and create more employment for the youth. Yusufar reporting for Young in Industries from the Ekatano area in Kiambu County.
Nakuru is predominantly a tourist destination, ideal for conferencing and holidaying. The region's attractions are based on physical landscape, stay-in facilities and wildlife. Well, tonight on Magical Scenes, Irene Muchuma Odim highlights touristic charm of Nakuru County.
Welcome to Nakuru, Kenya's newest city located in the Rift Valley. Nakuru enjoys the privileges of urban centers and beauty of diversity in architecture, nature, conferencing facilities, and accommodation. Families, friends, colleagues appreciate the beauty of this destination owing to the luxury that comes with it, ample space and tranquility.
If you come as a family and want just to have a day out, it still serves your purpose. If you want to be around the parks, one of our best parks like the Nakuru National Park, America will be a very good stopover as you make your move either to the Mara, to Lake Bogoria to see the flamingos, either to Lake Nakuru.
This is where we always come for our coffee, sometimes for our dinner, because it's a nice place. The hospitality is superb, the scenery is good, and also it's somewhere where you can have a meeting with silent. I'm a business lady, so I like coming here for business meetings because it's a nice place. Their food is good, their services are good, and we love everything about Meru.
This beautiful space boasts of a relaxed and modern design facility priding in sweeping views of the Nakuru town, comfortable seating, and access to an outdoor terrace.
Most of the time, people tend to think that it's just a jungle of concrete, but we want to create a different impression. It is still in very good touch with nature and ensure that you enjoy that.
The destination is arguably ideal for business meetings, tropical holidaying, and getaways, complemented by nature parks around the region. They say nothing compares to nature's beauty. Nakuru is one of the destinations that you would visit throughout the year owing to favorable weather conditions, and you would engage in varied activities at your own pace. Irene Nchuma Odim, Magical Sense in the county of Nakuru.
The gubernatorial race in Makueni County is on. Candidates are lining up to showcase their development agenda. Don't miss out this Thursday on 14th July. Tune in to KBC Channel 1 from 9:50 p.m. for a live Makueni County gubernatorial debate from Acacia Hotel, Watertown.
Do you have a news story to share with KBC? Get in touch swiftly on email news@kbc.co.ke or call 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124.
Oh, good evening, and as always, it is a pleasure to have your company for KBC Sports with me, Richard Monga. Now, Kenya's Ferdinand Omanyala has left the country for the World Athletics Championships, which begin tomorrow in Oregon, United States. Omanyala had not received his visa by the close of the day yesterday, which had made it look impossible for him to take part in the World Championship. But following his clearance, Omanyala left the country at 6 p.m. and will arrive in Oregon 2 hours to his qualifier. The World Athletics Championships will be televised live on KBC Channel 1.
After days of uncertainty, African record holder Ferdinand Omanyala finally left the country for the United States just over 24 hours to his race at the World Athletics Championships. He was among the few members in the Kenyan contingent who experienced visa delays, but finally received his visa in the morning and left the country in the evening at 6 p.m. The African champion is among athletes who will compete in the opening day of the championship in the men's 100 meters heats, with his race coming at 10:30 p.m. local time.
I want to thank the Minister of Sports, Madam Amina. She's been working. Okay, people are talking out here, but they don't know what's behind the scenes. She's been working all around the clock. Last night she was really working on this, and I want to also thank the president. The president, like 2 days ago, and he instructed that to be done. So let's say just the system, how it works, and also the federation. I want to thank you. Let's stay positive, guys, because I know I'm supposed to compete tomorrow, but.
The Kenyan team travelled in batches, with the first contingent leaving on Tuesday night for the championship scheduled July 15th to 24th. Omanyala is the sole representative for Kenya in the men's 100 meters race at the World Athletics Championships. At the last edition of the global event, Kenya finished second on the medal tally after amassing a total of 11 medals, 5 gold, 2 silver and 4 bronze. The World Athletics Championships will be televised live on KBC Channel 1.
Well, despite the challenge, of course, we do wish all the best for Ferdinand Omanyala as well as other Kenyan athletes ahead of the World Championship, which kick off tomorrow. And as always, KBC Channel 1 has got your back. We'll be bringing you the championships are live. So stay tuned in for that. To other matters now, the first batch of Team Kenya to the Commonwealth Games will leave the country next week ahead of the Games that are set to run from the 28th of July till 8th of August in Birmingham, United Kingdom. The travelling contingent today received a 14 million shillings boost from Kenya Breweries Limited. The 2022 Commonwealth Games will be held from the 28th till the 8th of August. And, well, once again, KBC Channel 1 has always got your back when it comes to sports.
Kenya will send a delegation of 123 athletes to this year's Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, with all competing teams sharing out the allocated slots. Athletics will take 45 slots, with the rest of the disciplines allocated the remaining 78. The team was boosted to a tune of 14 million shillings from Kenya Breweries Limited, who promised a long-term commitment to sports in the country just 2 months after National Olympic Committee of Kenya appealed for support.
There are 120 also athletes that are going to represent Kenya in the Birmingham Commonwealth Games. We just want to wish them well. I think they've got enough support from government. We've come in with a contribution as well. We know they're going to be successful. We know they're going to bring us medals as they have always done. And we are looking forward to celebrate them when they come back on the 9th of August.
Deputy Commissioner of Sports Jackson Indakwa reiterated the government's commitment to working with the private sector for sports development in the country.
Will serve the purpose of supporting the team, highlighting your achievements, celebrating you, bringing all Kenyans together to watch and applaud and cheer you as you go along.
The sponsorship will go a long way in ensuring adequate preparation for the travelling contingent.
We not only value but esteem this support extended to Team Kenya, which you have done it oftenly, including today.
The 2022 Commonwealth Games will be held from the 28th of July to 8th August and televised live on KBC Channel 1.
Well, that's all the time we had for KBC Sports tonight, but in case Cynthia has anything obviously to add on to that before we head out to Makueni.
Probably just excited. The biggest story and the hashtag that we had was just on Ferdinand, and to finally see that he's been able to make it in the US. I'm just worried that he just has 2 hours.
Exactly.
So how will his performance look like?
We can only wish him the best at this point.
Definitely,
really.
and the rest of the Kenyans. Remember, after this, we are taking you straight to Makueni for the gubernatorial debate. And from me and the rest of the team, I wish you a good night.
Oh, from the sports desk, likewise, do have a good night.